evening and thank you for tuning in as we continue to decode the Trump assassination bid. In the wee hours of the morning, where Donald Trump, as per India time, was reported shot in the ear in an attempted assassination during a campaign rally. Now remember, this is an attack, or rather an assassination bid, that will likely reshape this year's US presidential race while raising sharp questions about security provided to the Republican candidate. In the moments after the shooting, Trump was swarmed and covered up by his security agents. He quickly emerged from the scrum, his face streaked with blood, and pumped his fist in the air saying, "Fight, fight, fight." Questions, however, ponder over the security lapses in the rally and if his security was compromised upon. Watch this report, then we discuss.
Take a look at what happened.
The assassination attempt on Trump, who is seeking a second term in the country's highest office, has sent shockwaves across the globe. According to a report, the shooter was stationed barely 200 to 300 feet away from the rally area that was cordoned off. The report, quoting sources, said that the shooter, barely out of his teens, was on an elevated structure outside the cordoned-off area, possibly a shed.
The bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to can be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that they're thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours.
The shooter, according to preliminary investigation, is believed to have fired from an AR-style rifle. A single bullet fired from an AR-style rifle is enough to blow apart a skull. There are questions how the shooter managed to get so close to the rally and discharge his firearm before being taken down. Was the venue of the rally and its immediate surroundings not sanitized for suspects as per standard security protocol? How did the shooter get a free shot at Trump despite such heavy security deployment at the venue? As the FBI and the US Secret Service carry forward the joint probe into the shocking assassination bid, it appears that the agencies themselves have a lot to answer for.
All right, and as you continue to see what happened, remember this has stirred quite a storm across the US just ahead of the US presidential elections. And as we understand that the security lapses that have now been questioned. How is it that a 20-year-old was in possession of that gun and went on to attack a US presidential candidate? Let's not forget that this attack was carried out while the security services completely marking the security arrangement of Donald Trump. And as world leaders condemn in one voice the assassination bid on former US President Donald Trump, larger questions, glaring security lapses that may have aided the shooter are now in consideration. Let's take a look at this report.
You want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Trump, who is bidding to return as president for a second term, overcame many legal challenges ahead of the November 5 election. He became the first former president in US history to be convicted of a felony offense after being found guilty in the hush money trial.
This is really a concerted witch hunt. Very simple. Everything you heard in there, this is a witch hunt by numerous judges, Democrat judges. You take a look at it, and Doran is a whack job. What he did was a disgrace. It's being reviewed by the appellate division. And I hope they do justice, because everybody's looking, and no business is coming into the city.
He faces 4 criminal charges, including a conspiracy to defraud the United States and conspiring against the rights of citizens. Trump had already been accused by federal prosecutors of reversing the results and spreading lies about the election fraud. He was accused of exploiting the Capitol riots on January 6, 2021 to delay certification of Joe Biden's victory and stay in power. Trump was found guilty on 34 felony counts in the hush money trial. He was convicted of falsifying his business records in the case filed in connection with a hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. A civil suit was also filed against Trump, accusing him of floating a scheme to misquote the value of his properties to lower his tax bill. Trump also faced a defamation suit by E. John Carroll, who accused him of sexual assault and battery in the 1990s. While the legal challenges did not hurt his bid for office, it remains to be seen if the failed assassination attempt gives the Trump campaign a further boost.
And joining us on the broadcast are our guests this evening. Let me also introduce Major General Rajan Kochar. He is with us on Zoom right now. Group Captain Devnand and retired Colonel Shailendra Singh, who is also with us in the studio. Very good evening to you. Colonel Shailendra Singh, if I could come to you first to talk about the security lapses. Today, the world is shocked to how an attack like this could be carried out, and it was a very close shave for Donald Trump. Where does the expertise of the Secret Services go?
Jai Hind, that's a very valid question. I think where the world would be, trying to evaluate. You used a word earlier while introducing storm. I think there is definitely going to be a storm in the world, not only in US. That this is the country which claims, which wants to be the protector of the world. They want to create peace. They want to create no murders. And here are they in their own country. I'm not a very big fan of US or Trump, but we must face the realities correctly. A 20-year-old child, I'll call him a child right now, gets a gun. From where? Because of your own policies. This is what you are showcasing. There has been so much of protest going around in US that this gun culture must come down. But they have not been. It is by their own choice that they are selling the guns. AR-15 kind of gun. Oh, imagine. Unbelievable that this gun is there in armies in the world and you are allowing it for the civilians. Security arrangements. Yes, there is no doubt about it. A retired president gets a very top level security. There are always 3 rings. One is a closer ring, which is by the Secret Service. There is a county one, which is beyond that. And there is the last one, that is the police of that local city. There are 3 rings. But this boy could, fire beyond the 3rd ring, 100, 150 meters. That means your rings are too conservative. They are too small. They do not adequately cover everything. That is where your security lapses. There is an intelligence lapse. There is a checking lapse, that how could he climb a particular place and from there fire so easily. I must tell you this very clearly, that what the security service did immediately was good. There is no denying that they could take him out. I wish you could have heard somewhere, if you pay bigger attention, that there is one of the security chap who said, Donald Duck. You see, he said that. That means they made an attempt. They could see that there is some round fire. 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 rounds, that doesn't make a difference. But more important is that these rounds got fired. There was a weapon system available in 150 meters. This obviously is an amazing, irresponsible gap in the security, which the world's topmost security agency claims. This is where my protest is. If you could not protect your own president, how do you expect that you will be able to protect my world? I don't think they have done justice.
All All right, I want to take that AR-15 point to Major General Rajan Kochar, who's also with us on the broadcast, because the question being asked is, how could a 20-year-old be in possession of an AR-15 rifle? And do also explain why it is so dangerous, so many shots were fired, and such a close shave for Donald Trump, because had it been a few centimeters or even a few millimeters left, I mean, there were literally no chances.
You see, there is a gun culture in the United States, and you can own a weapon without a license. Today, there are 2.4 million adults who actually own this rifle, an AR-style rifle. It's of a 5.56 caliber into 45 It's a NATO classification, and it has got latest versions have got a steel bullet also. So you can imagine that if anyone strikes this, is actually known as a hunting rifle. It is banned in New York City, but it is not banned in any other city of the United States, because if you are aware, the United States people stay in ranches, people stay in their fields and all, where a lot of wild animals are there. So it is basically given for the protection against these wild animals, and also hunting is not banned in the United States. So even for hunting, and you can imagine that out of 31% adults who have been given the guns, 20% own AR-style rifles. So it's so much popular in the United States. And one more aspect is that this is a semi-automatic weapon. For an automatic weapon, you have to be an adult and you have to have a proper license. For a semi-automatic, the adult can actually own it, and there is a way these people have actually circumvented the system. Even if you want to own an automatic rifle, that rifle is given to you in parts. All the spares of the rifle are sold individually so that you can assemble the rifle later on. So you will find many Americans even have automatic weapons with them. And you are aware of the mass shooting in schools over the years. There have been more than 17 incidents in the last 7 to 8 years where mass shootings have taken place in US, and 80% of these shootings has been from this rifle, this AR-style rifle. And why United States is not able to get over this is because defense industry is the prime industry which actually funds the elections of all the senators. And it is so powerful, it has roots into the government. So there was a move once upon a time to sort of ban these weapons into especially the youth of the country, and have a licensing system, a proper licensing system, the way we have in India. But unfortunately, it has not been implemented, and this rifle is available off the shelf. You don't even anybody can buy it. And there is a tradition in the United States that when a father wants to present his son a birthday present, a rifle is the in thing there, because it is very much liked by the younger generation in the United States. And therefore, I feel that a time has come where you have to legislate these kind of things, and not go for all the time economics and money-making aspects. We have to ensure that there is a proper legislation in place, a proper licensing in place. And my last point is that this security lapse, you see, it is very, very evident that in a place where an election rally is there, you have to have a very tight security, especially in these elections, when Biden has been saying openly in all his election rallies that Trump has to be stopped at any cost. So you see, it starts affecting the psyche of the people. He's also been called a convicted felon. So these kind of personal attacks, which we have seen in these elections, especially in the US elections, it can influence the youth of the country, and it can influence the youth to take such a step.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And while one can go on and on talking about the gun culture in the United States, the fact is that a 20-year-old carries out an assassination attempt against a US presidential candidate with such ease is absolutely shocking that the security services could not protect their own leader and avoid this from happening. While we'll talk more about that, let's once again take a look at the entire sequence of events of what had happened when that assassination bid occurred.
TV program.
All right, not too sure if we'd be able to play out that video just yet, and I request my producers to keep that so we can play that video once again. But before that, I want to come to you, Group Captain Devnath, because fact is that this is the US that talks about saving democracy, that, here is what happened today, where every American having the right to choose their president is something that has taken a hit. Democracy in the United States has taken a hit. And not just that, they've lost 4 presidents to assassination. Then how is it that just ahead of the US elections today, we see something like this where Trump is targeted?
Oh, yes, there's a great dilemma. US is a great democracy, and USA allows its citizen to hold a weapon as enshrined in their constitution. So as a great democracy, they have amended their constitution as per Second Amendment, and under various small rules of freedom of expression, they have allowed people in US to hold a weapon also for self-protection. Now, a great democracy, great amount of liberty given to citizen of US. It is US citizen who have to decide, and their leadership, that they must keep this gun possession under a certain amount of self-imposed control. Republicans and Democrats both get funded by National Rifle Association. The gun lobby is very strong. In past 200 years, whenever this proposal has come up, that there has to be certain amount of restrictions placed, both the sides, whether they are Republicans or Democrats, have vehemently opposed any such proposal. I will go to the extent of saying that last year the convention of National Rifle Association was attended by Donald Trump himself, where he loudly proclaimed that he will keep the tradition of Second Amendment alive, vibrant, and will never tamper with it. So probably their political environment permits this type of liberty. Certain amount of self-control is need of the day.
Oh yes, absolutely. And fact is that there is global outrage over what has happened with regards to this assassination bid on Trump, condemnation over political violence that has been coming in from every global leader. And the larger question that is crossing everybody's minds today is that will this help or hurt the Trump campaign ahead of the November 5 elections? First, we take a look at this report.
Look what happened.
Trump was comfortably in the lead over his Democratic rival and incumbent Joe Biden ahead of the Pennsylvania rally. The failed assassination attempt is likely to come as a further shot in the arm for the Trump campaign. Viral image of Trump clenching his fist with blood oozing out of his right ear could make voters rally around him even more. A professor at the University of San Francisco, was quoted as saying in a report that the incident could amplify and elevate his image in the eyes of his supporters. A new poll published just 2 days ago said only 24% of the people in the US have faith in Biden's cognitive capabilities going into the November 5 elections. Biden, who was already facing an uphill task to save the Democratic campaign, could be set back even further after the failed assassination bid on Donald Trump.
All right, Major General Rajan Kochhar, I want to come to you with this point, sir. There are two concerns primarily. One, of course, is how polarized this election will be and how the divide between Trump supporters versus Trump haters may just increase. Secondly, the fact that it is already an unpredictable election. Of course, we saw what happened at the presidential debate last time, but given what happened and how close a save it was for Donald Trump, will this bolster his chances in the US presidential polls, or could it work the other way around, also going by the history of US elections?
See, now things have actually changed in the world, and Trump is already leading the elections, all those surveys which have been actually carried out. And the Democrats have made a statement today that it is too early to predict if it is going to help Trump. And the Republicans have made a statement saying that it is going to help them. So possibly, in my opinion, it would be slightly early to say that. But we can safely presume that considering the sequence of events which have taken place today, and for your information, there is a GoFundMe campaign which has been launched by the Republican Party to gather money to help those people who have been injured in this incident, and it has already collected 1,70,000 US dollars. So you can see how the political advantage is being converted by the Republicans to take advantage of this situation. But I'm certain in my mind there has been a polarity in the voters in supporting Trump. Even after being convicted, he still seems to be quite popular. And as per the US law, he can still become the president of the country in spite of being convicted. So it's not like, other countries. So we see certainly a swing which will be in favor of Trump, considering that there are around only 12% voters in the United States which are less than 30 years of age. A majority of the people in the United States who are going to vote would be more than 30 years of age, and they have seen what Biden has delivered in the last 5 years. And you also mentioned about the presidential debate. That was in favor of Trump, because the way Biden has actually performed in that debate, there has been a Palestinian sort of an issue there with Biden. There has been a Ukraine issue with Biden, where the people are unhappy the way American dollars are being dished out to fight the battle of others. And the American economy has gone into a recession. There is a job issue. There is a health issues. All these major issues are there with the people, and they feel that the image of America has been severely dented outside by the policies of Biden. So I think that anti-incumbency factor is there, which is actually working against Biden. And I think it will swing now more the Trump way.
Let's not forget his son saying that Donald Trump is in good spirits, and that very, I think, memorable picture that will always go down in history, his first response after being shot, where he said, "Fight, fight, fight." But Colonel Shailendra Singh, I want to come to you, because what has happened has revoked a dark chapter in the history of the United States when it comes to political violence. Today, there are growing cries of how it is being condemned. But what is the kind of culture that it reflects in the present context?
If you can allow me, I just want to comment on that point about the election prospects. You see, in US, it's a very clear thing that Democrats are Democrats, Republicans are Republicans. They will always vote for that party wherever they are. It is only that 10 to 15 to 20% which is the swing. Please evaluate it very clearly. Human beings are always emotional, and such attacks evokes emotional response. Definitely, it will give an edge, which already Trump has over Biden. But this again adds to that edge that on humanitarian ground, on emotional ground, that there will be a swing towards his coming back. As far as I must also tell you about this one, AR-15. Why it's a sports and a hunter rifle? Why do you require it? 500 meters of range you require it. Is this US, I'm talking to you, is it required for hunter and sports? 550 meters range? You want it as a semi-automatic weapon? Where do you use it in sports? This is your culture we are talking about. I have again noted down, I'll tell you. 5.56 ammunition. My God, it's a killer ammunition as far as I am concerned, because Indian Army till now had been using it as their army weapon system. There are other armies who are using it, and you are calling in your country that it's a sports and a hunter rifle. If this is what your culture is, why will I not blame you that you have a gun culture? You are making it available so easy. You are making such deadly weapon systems available for public because it is licensed for purchase by the civilians in USA. So if you overall analyze the situation, आपने जैसा बोया है, आप वही काट रहे हैं. You people are the one who decided it. You are the Trump who decided it that no, this gun culture we will not kill down, we will not scale down, we will not make things easy, or we will not make things difficult the way it is easily available. You may have a human right, but so does the other has a human right. Today this 5.56 deadly ammunition, if it would have entered his skull, it would have busted it. So there is, you are yourself getting entrapped in what you have set for yourself.
Right. Fact is that this has reopened a chilling chapter in American politics, and the kind of emotions it stirs, whether it will be for or against Trump and what eventually will be the outcome in the upcoming elections is the big question. But for the moment, it is time for us to wrap this edition. I want to thank you all for being a part of this broadcast as we promise our viewers that we'll be back on the other side of the short break. Do stay tuned.